So, there's about $10 billion a day being traded in crypto on exchanges and probably an equivalent amount being traded off exchanges. So there's definitely trading out there. This is a growing marketplace. I look at 2019 as the year that crypto grows up, and it's not clear that everybody's approach to trying to trade is going to work, and I think CBOE's clearly hasn't, but there's still massive interest on the institutional side.
Okay, why Bermuda and why dark pool? There are exchanges in New York that are regulated by the state authorities. Why don't you do one of those?
So let's start with why dark pool first. There's a good 100 exchanges around the world trading crypto, of whom about 10 or 15 trade in any size. But there is no dark pool in the crypto landscape. And essentially, liquidity is so fragmented across all of these exchanges. What we need is a kind of a central warehouse for liquidity that all of these exchanges and other venues can use to clear liquidity between them. And why Bermuda? Digital assets are they're a different beast from a regulatory perspective. Anti-money laundering concerns and custody concerns are very different from traditional assets. And so we needed a regime that had really thought through how to regulate these assets properly. And there's really only one top-tier global regulatory regime that has done the work to think that through. That's Bermuda. The US is still pretty fragmented. The CFTC are probably going to regulate Bitcoin. The SEC are going to regulate other digital assets. You still need to get licensed by FinCEN. And so what we're doing is standing up something that hits the highest bar that we could find globally. And then we'll be in position when the US is ready to have a clear regulatory picture.
So how quickly do you think the dark pool will be adopted?
We've got a pretty large pipeline of interest. We're going to be stepping things up slowly over the first sort of 3 to 4 months. But this is from a Bitcoin trading perspective. We're going to see a pretty significant flow in 2019. But really, the important thing to look at here is, in the next 10 years, we're going to see stocks, bonds, FX, real estate, all the assets that are currently traded on legacy platforms, we're going to see move over to the digital asset space. And so our larger goal is to be a central trading venue really for all-to-all trading of assets.
Oh, so it's not just a cryptocurrency.
This is not just a cryptocurrency.
This is a way of using blockchain to do a broader trade.
So when we talk about
absolutely
bond trading becoming automated.
Absolutely. And actually, one of the things here, we're not just bringing dark pools into blockchain and crypto. We're also bringing blockchain and crypto into the concept of a dark pool. So, there's been some controversy around dark pools in the equity space, that the dark aspect of not showing your trades to the world is one thing, but there's also been darkness around what are the rules of this thing, and are the HFTs in there waiting to pounce on regular clients. So we're, bringing dark pools into the light, if you like, by using blockchain and crypto technology to create transparency in the way that you access liquidity, and creating transparency in the the trade behavior.
Focus on technology, particularly certain sectors. With the incredible power of modern computing and the internet, we're entering into a new era of innovation. Currently, blockchain is transforming our financial systems, cybersecurity, and how entrepreneurs and startups are able to raise capital. As the rest of the world speeds ahead to take advantage of this new technology, the U.S. is now lagging behind heavily due to regulatory certainty issues that the market needs to protect consumers, empower innovators, and entrepreneurs. My colleagues and I, including Josh Gottheimer, Tulsi Gabbard, Ted Budd, and others that aren't on the committee, Darren Soto and Scott Perry, introduced a bill yesterday that would provide regulatory certainty the U.S. needs to take advantage of this thriving sector. Mr. Solomon, I'm going to read an excerpt from an article that recently caught my attention. Quote, Goldman Sachs planned to establish a crypto-focused unit by the end of 2018, as reported by Bloomberg in December last year. However, on September 5th, Business Insider reported that unnamed sources said the firm is scrapping crypto trading desk plans due to an unclear regulatory environment in the crypto industry. Mr. Solomon, why did Goldman Sachs initially choose to open a crypto trading desk?
The first article wasn't correct. Like others, we're watching and exploring and doing work in terms of trying to understand the cryptocurrency market as it develops. We have some clients that have certain functionality that we've engaged with them on, clearing physical futures. But other than that, we never had plans to open a cryptocurrency trading desk. We might at some point in time, but there's no question when you're dealing with cryptocurrency, it's a new area. There are a lot of issues. It is unclear from a regulatory perspective. And it's not clear whether or not, in the long run, as a currency, those technologies are going to work and be viable.
Clearly, and certainly some of those tokens that are issued are awaiting definition as to what will be a security, what is not a security, what's the appropriate trading platform. There are a number of issues that our bill goes into, and frankly, even things that will be needed to addressed afterward. Mr. Dimon, in 2017, you called cryptocurrencies, quote, not a real thing. But this year, your firm unveiled JPM Coin and stated, quote, we are supportive of cryptocurrencies as long as they are properly controlled and regulated. Why the shift?
So the blockchain is real. It's a technology. A lot of people use it and testing it today, and we think it will work over time. But the part that's not real is the cryptocurrency is not supported by anything. There's no value behind it other than what the next person will pay for it. And they have serious issues about that. The JP Morgan coin is a token which is supported by a deposit at JP Morgan. So it can be shipped around the world real time. It can go with a lot of data on it. You can split it into pieces, and the second someone wants cash, we can move the cash to.
So the settlements will happen almost instantaneously, and there will be a blockchain distributed ledger. And how will that facilitate better payment systems if it works correctly?
Yeah, well, the payment systems today, they do work and they're very cheap. But the fact is, this might be a faster way. It could be faster. It comes with data, and everyone would have the same data at the same time. So instead of us having to call each other's banks up and saying, what happened to that shipment from Singapore, we just go to the same screen and see it right away.
Because of the nature of the blockchain, it's inherently more transparent.
Yes, it's got to be secure, and it's got to be, in this case, permissioned. Not everyone can access it because we need real security around things like movement of money.
Thank you very much. Now, we can't talk about the thriving new sector without discussing how to protect consumers. As your role as banks evolves, secure custody of digital assets is essential. However, there's no regulation or guideline on who can be a qualified custodian for digital assets. Mr. Schwarf, in looking at your policy regarding cryptocurrency on your website, BNY Mellon cites lack of regulatory clarity as a barrier to providing custody for digital assets. Can you expand on this statement and highlight any other regulatory hurdles you're facing in this space?
Sure. I think just as the website says, there is lack of clarity, and I think that's one thing that stands in the way. Quite honestly, it's something that cryptocurrencies are very early in their existence. They're not significant today to speak of in terms of being used as a real currency to move value. And so we're actively thinking about what we want to do. One of the biggest issues that we have relates to anti-money laundering and KYC.
Thank you. My time has expired, and I yield.
Global liquidity to any market, any country, any place, anywhere. Fully exchangeable to any currency, asset, or commodity. Transactions are settled in 4 seconds. XRP is traded 24/7, 365 days a year, everywhere in the world. Removing friction from global trade, removing barriers, removing borders. XRP transfers value anytime and all the time. From you to any place on Earth.